Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at noon, we are staying on top of two big stories. I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. We have just been added to a level 1 risk for the most severe, an area for severe weather today. We will get to Elizabeth Gardner in just a moment. First up, though, there is a large police presence in the Falls River neighborhood.
Let's get right to WRAL's Destiny Patterson, who is live near the scene. Destiny.
Just in the last 10 minutes, we've heard from Raleigh police. I want you to take a look at the scene here. This is the home in question. You can see there are several armored trucks there. They tell us that they tried serving a warrant for several charges, including felony stalking and violating a domestic violence protection order. The suspect in this case is Jeffrey Lynch. Police tried to get in contact with him. They say that they believe that he's inside. He's possibly armed, but they're not exactly sure. They tell us they don't believe anyone else is inside. And they have also evacuated some homes in this area as well. RPD tells us that they're going to continue to keep us updated. And we're also going to be trying to talk to some neighbors here. And we'll keep you guys updated as we learn more throughout the morning here.
Destiny, thank you. We are also tracking the next weather maker. This is a live look at the system as it moves in from the west.
Yeah, new at noon. Most of our area is now under a level 1 risk for severe storms this afternoon and evening, and the possibility of those storms will last throughout the weekend. This is why we've declared Saturday and Sunday WRAL weather alert days.
Not everyone will see these storms, but some could be severe, especially in the Triangle. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is outside on the WRAL weather patio tracking the system. Elizabeth.
So new here at noon, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. It was just issued just a few minutes ago by the Storm Prediction Center. So this means that we could have a few isolated cells that produce wind damage. Level 1 risk does not mean anything widespread, but there could be 1 or 2 storms that produce damaging winds that could knock down trees. So that's going to be for later this afternoon and evening. We don't start to see any showers and thunderstorms across our area right away. We do start to see that as we get into the late afternoon and evening. And that's going to be the pattern again as we get through the day tomorrow, too. So we're just looking at that potential. Here's a look at satellite and radar. Notice how things are really getting cranked up across, say, Tennessee. Nashville has that orange shaded area there. That orange shaded area is where we have a severe thunderstorm watch and ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings. And so we could see some of that today as well as Saturday night into early Sunday. So we do have 2 WRAL weather alert days. One is for tomorrow and the other is for Sunday. The model runs that we've been getting for the last 12 hours have been rapidly changing. And so you'll watch the forecast change a bit compared to maybe what you saw this time yesterday. This is a look at our rain chances as we get through the afternoon. It's a 30% chance, especially once we get to around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Futurecast starting today. This is lunchtime for today, and it will be a little bit before we see those storms developing closer to the evening commute. Again, it's not widespread, but we'll see a few isolated cells between, say, 5 and 9 that bring us that chance for some isolated severe storms. First thing Saturday morning, there could be a sprinkle, but Saturday continues to trend drier and drier with each model run that we're getting. Notice a run up of some thunderstorms toward our western counties at about 3 o'clock tomorrow, and then it all fizzles out. Then on Sunday, we start to see everything moving faster as well. Notice at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, a line of thunderstorms comes through. It's through the Triangle by about 9, but then redevelops along the I-95 corridor during the afternoon. So what does all this mean? It means that Saturday looks mostly dry, and now Sunday looks a lot drier from the Triangle area westward. We'll go over this again, and I'll give you some numbers to go along with it coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Stay ahead of any severe weather by downloading the WRAL News app. You can sign up for push alerts to get them straight to your home screen. It is free to download.
Happening right now, we have some breaking news to tell you about in the trial of a Raleigh man accused of beating his mother to death. Christopher McCullough is also accused of trying to murder his father. WRAL's Noah Klein has been following along with this. Noah, the jury asked a couple of questions within the last 30 minutes and then came to a verdict.
Yeah, these updates are coming in literally minute by minute. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan is in the courtroom right now. She just texted us that this jury has a verdict, right? So remember, they've been deliberating for just a little over 7 hours. Christopher McCullough, accused, of course, of beating his mother and then killing her. The key to this case is intent. On your screen right now, we're going to put up those questions that they went ahead and asked again in just about the last 30 minutes or so. These are the charges, right? So we've got first-degree murder. On top of that, you have attempted murder and then larceny. And we should mention that charge specifically is of the family dog. So we are right now looking in for a verdict. And again, the jury, of course, will come out and read that verdict. But again, here are the three charges we're talking about. The key to this case, intent. Did McCullough mean to kill his mother? The state will tell you he did. The defense has pointed out this entire time that McCullough was on drugs, Adderall, meth, and drinking. They say he didn't even know what happened. So a lot to talk about here. Again, the verdict is in. We'll bring it to you as soon as we get it right here on WRAL News.
Noah, thank you. We will certainly let you know what that verdict is as soon as it comes in. FBI agents have arrested a third suspect in the kidnapping of a Garner mother and her 1-year-old daughter. Leo Estrada Hernandez faces several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree kidnapping and 2 counts of assault by pointing a firearm. He will be taken to the Wake County Detention Center. His first court appearance is expected on Monday. A brother and sister have already been arrested and charged in the kidnapping. The mother and daughter were found unharmed hours after their disappearance. We are learning more about the victims involved in a Harnett County crash. This happened last night on NC 210 east of Anger. 2 people were killed and another 6 were injured in the head-on crash. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joins us live from Harnett County at the crash site. Sean, Highway Patrol released the names of the 2 people killed in the wreck.
Yeah, and we were here within the last 15 minutes when some of their family came here. We spoke with an aunt and an uncle who tell us the 2 victims in this crash were in a relationship and they were on the way to one of their mother's house when they got into this crash right here. You can see there's still some pieces of those cars left, some paint from crash reconstruction, but all around a very tragic evening. Now, this was all around 9:40 last night. State Highway Patrol says a car was traveling here on 210 and tried to pass in a no-passing zone when it collided with another vehicle going in the other direction as they were coming over a hill. The 2 people in the passing vehicle died, a 26-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman with 2 kids suffering serious injuries in the back seat. In the other vehicle, a 24-year-old driver and 2 other people were also taken to the hospital with serious injuries. And within the last 15 minutes, we spoke to the aunt of one of those victims in that crash.
No podemos escribir lo que.
It's hard to describe how they're feeling right now and like the sadness in her heart.
Now, this is a no passing zone, as you can see by the double lines on the road. And back out here live, it can be extremely difficult to see. Right here behind me, as cars come over this hill, you really can't see them if you're coming in the other direction until it's too late. And now this was just an absolutely tragic event all around. The lives of those 2 people gone. And again, 6 others still recovering in the hospital right now. In Harnett County, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
We have a look for you right now. A huge response to a fire in Raleigh's Mission Valley Plaza around midnight. This happened at Akari Express near Western Boulevard and Avent Ferry Road. Firefighters quickly put out the flames, but they haven't said what caused the fire. We're working to learn that and how much damage was done. No injuries were reported. A person is in custody today after leading law enforcement on a chase spanning 2 counties. The WRAL breaking news tracker was in Durham at 3:30 this morning. State Highway Patrol says the chase started in Wendell and ended on East End Avenue in Durham. As for what led up to the chase, we are looking into that.
Within the last few hours, we got a big update on the economy. The April jobs report is slightly better than expected. WRAL's Monica Casey shows us how UNC's economists are reacting to the new numbers.
The U.S. added about 177,000 jobs last month, and that number is higher than what was projected ahead of this report's release. That number is down slightly from hiring in March, but still above what we were expecting.
We are seeing fairly healthy job growth right now, so a fairly healthy job report. So we're seeing that this change in non-farm payrolls actually exceeded expectations.
The other big number we were watching in this report is the unemployment rate. That is unchanged, still sitting at about 4.2%.
Overall, I'd say this is pretty encouraging news that we have here. I don't know that we'll continue to see it for the rest of 2025, but again, we are seeing some of that resilience in the labor market.
The impact of tariffs on the economy has been closely watched, and experts tell me this report is one of the best ways we'll know what's going on with the economy in real time. This report is especially important here in the Triangle, where many research-based universities and industries depend on federal funding. Reporting in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Breaking news, the jury has reached a verdict in the Christopher McCullough trial. Let's get right to Noah Klein. And Noah, what did the jury say?
Renee, we have that verdict: guilty of first-degree murder. Again, guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his mom, the beating death, you'll remember. This is a live look right now inside the courtroom. You can see, here's the defense team, and then we have the state over here. We just saw McCullough. He's actually behind his defense team over here. So here's the bailiff, and then McCullough is there. We did see him up, so that jury read the verdict out. You'll remember we were facing a couple of charges here, but again, guilty of murder one, which means there was intent there in killing his mother. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan is inside the courtroom here. Photojournalist Ed Wilson providing these live pictures. You see the judge speaking with what I would imagine to be the jury, and then the state here. So it was 3 charges. First-degree murder, again, that's guilty, and then you had attempted murder and the larceny specifically there of the family dog. So they found him not guilty on those 2 charges, but guilty there on murder 1. You'll remember Christopher McCullough, of course, beat his mother to death. He also beat his father. His father survived after several weeks in the hospital. And again, you see there as we zoom in on the defense team, this again, a guilty verdict returned in the Christopher McCullough murder trial of his mother. On the left side there, you see the charges he's facing, and again, guilty of murder 1. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan following this developing big breaking news for us from the courthouse. She'll have live updates coming up throughout WRAL News this evening.
Noah, thank you. Next at noon, cabinet shakeup. Mike Waltz is out as National Security Advisor, his potential new role, and who takes over his post.
Also, how the Trump administration is directly affecting Wake County school funding for mental health professionals.
Plus, tariff loophole ends. What that will mean for popular budget sites like Shein and Temu.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And we are staying on top of that breaking news we first brought you at the top of the hour. A large police presence in a Northeast Raleigh neighborhood where police are attempting to serve a warrant to a man they say could be barricaded inside.
WR's Destiny Patterson is on that scene right now. She joins us live there with the latest, what she knows from investigators there.
Yeah, first I want to give you guys a look at the home here. You can see that they have armored vehicles outside. We just saw several of the law enforcement agents go inside of the home. I'm also standing here with a neighbor, Evan here, and he is we've been able to confirm that this is not the first time that Raleigh police have showed up to this house. Evan, can you describe how that time, it was in 2021, compares to now?
Yeah, it was a lot quicker last time. It was a in and out type of thing. We noticed it really quick, and then by the time anyone checked again, everybody dispersed. So, yeah, this time it's been here pretty much all morning, so a little sad to see.
When was the first time that you saw or heard anything related to this?
This morning, I heard a loud noise. I work from home, so I had my window open, heard a loud noise. Mom left for the day, and she was like, "Hey, I can't get out." So, yeah.
Yeah, we do know, as he mentioned, that they have blocked off several of the roads here. The suspect in this case is named David Lynch. Giving you another look at this home here, they say that they were trying to serve him a warrant on several charges, including violating a domestic violence protection order. We are staying out here. As you just saw, we're talking to neighbors, and we'll bring you the latest information as we get it. I'll send it back to you now.
All right, Destiny Patterson live Northeast Raleigh right now. Thank you. Pentagon is expanding its investigation into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Pentagon watchdog says the chat included Hegseth's wife, lawyer, and brother. An investigation into Hegseth's use of Signal, that app to discuss military strikes in Yemen, began last month. A U.S. official says investigators are also looking into how that information was transferred from Hegseth's secure communication system to Signal. Hegseth and a Pentagon spokesman deny any classified information was shared. And more fallout from the Signal group chat. President Trump is nominating now Mike Waltz to serve as U.S. ambassador to the UN. And that means Waltz is out of his role as National Security Advisor. The president says Marco Rubio will take on the role until someone else takes the position. This would be in addition to his role as Secretary of State. Waltz added a reporter to a Signal group chat about military strikes in Yemen. On this Sunday's edition of Meet the Press, moderator Kristen Welker sits down with President Donald Trump for an exclusive interview to mark his first 100 days in office this term.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, tickets officially on sale for round 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs for the Canes. They have this on their website right now. They officially went live at 12 o'clock, so everybody can go online and get their tickets right now. They'll face the Washington Capitals. The Caps do have home ice advantage for the series, so the first 2 games will be played in D.C., and then games 3 and 4 will happen at the Lenovo Center. The schedule has not been released yet.
And as you take a look at this map right here, you see what just came in at noon as breaking news for us, a severe weather risk this afternoon. Elizabeth Gardner is out on the WRAL severe weather patio right now. And right now, Elizabeth, doesn't look like anything too severe out there, but we know it's coming over the weekend.
Boy, when we take a look at what's happening on the other side of the mountains, there's a lot of severe weather happening around Nashville. And of course, that's all going to be headed our way. What's new at noon, of course, is we have this level 1 risk for severe storms. Earlier this morning, it was back to the west, and the extent of it was sort of Salisbury and Charlotte westward toward the mountains. And so now it does encompass our viewing area. It really looks like the coverage for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon is going to be fairly light, but it's been very interesting watching the evolution of the system. There are a lot of complicated pieces to it, and the computer models have been changing things pretty rapidly as we get new information in. But this is the latest trend. Saturday, late day storms, best chance of that will be west of US 1. So it's really just our far western counties that we would see. It looks like it almost runs into a wall, and we don't end up seeing those showers and thunderstorms really making it across most of the viewing area on Saturday. So that's great news for all the big events that we have coming up this weekend. Sunday is trending drier. Sunday had been the wet day for the last 24 hours, and now it's trending drier, at least from the Triangle area westward. It does look like we may have a good chance for showers and thunderstorms in our eastern counties all the way through the afternoon, and we'll go through Futurecast and take a look at it. We have what we call the dry slot. If you can think of a system rotating counterclockwise that low, sometimes we see drier air coming on right underneath it, and that's exactly what we could see causing those drier conditions on Sunday. All right, look at that. All of a sudden blowing up over Nashville and much of Tennessee, that orange shaded area, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm watch, and the yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. We don't have really much happening in North Carolina just yet, and this is a look at Futurecast. Notice by 5 o'clock, a few isolated cells pop up. A level 1 risk means that 1 or 2 cells in a time period could produce some wind damage, possibly some damaging wind, trees down, that sort of thing. All right, let's move ahead to Saturday morning. Notice at 6 a.m. some showers mainly just to our west, and then it moves northward and dissipates. That's great news for graduations and for the Komen Race for the Cure. At lunchtime Saturday, we're nice and dry, and then we have a run of thunderstorms headed to us, to our western counties, and then that's just the end of it. And then early on Sunday morning, between say 4 and 6 a.m., we have a line of showers and storms coming through. Dry air moves in, and from Raleigh westward, we're mainly dry after about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. But along the I-95 corridor, we do see a line of thunderstorms redeveloping for the evening or afternoon and evening on Sunday. We do have that level 1 severe risk on Saturday. I really feel like that's going to be more of the Sunday morning time frame, but we'll see how that evolves as we get through the next little while. NC State graduation Saturday morning looks good. 69 at 8 a.m., 83 at noon, and it really does look pretty dry for all of our outdoor events on Saturday, or at least most of them, unless you're way in the far western part of the viewing area. Little puffy clouds popping up over the airport right now. 83 is our current temperature. We're looking for a high this afternoon at around 90 degrees or so. Temperatures across the area currently are in the low to mid 80s, so it's pretty comfortable out here. We do, of course, have some cooler temperatures Sunday with a chance for some rain. We're going to go over how much rain we could see total over the next few days in just a few minutes.
Elizabeth, thanks. Closing controversy. Many people living near or around Lake Crabtree Park are upset that multi-use trails will be permanently closing next month. Today on WRAL News at 4, their concerns about what's to come and what they're calling on Wake County leaders to do.
Ramping up preparations. North Carolina hospitals are on high alert, making sure they're ready for a potential measles outbreak. Tonight at 6, the steps they're taking to protect you and your children.
The tariff loophole is now closed for Chinese imports worth $800 or less. That's due to executive action from President Donald Trump last month. Now, an affected item sent through the postal system carries a 120% duty or a $100 fee. On June 1st, the flat cost option rises to $200. An item shipped another way likely faces Trump's 145% tariff hike. Chinese e-commerce giants Shein and Temu say they raised prices a week ago to prepare for the loophole's end. Kohl's has fired its new CEO. Ashley Buchanan was let go after less than 5 months on the job. This after an investigation that found he led the company to make vendor deals that included undisclosed conflicts of interest. The current chairman of Kohl's board will serve as interim CEO until a successor is found.
Airbnb is feeling the effects of slowing travel demand in the U.S. The company says guests are now booking trips closer to the check-in dates, meaning the booking windows are growing shorter. The U.S. makes up a vast majority of the company's business in North America. Airbnb says it expects rental revenue to remain low in the second quarter. Apple expects a major spike to its costs. The company's CEO, Tim Cook, says tariffs set by the U.S., especially on China, will likely add an extra $900 million to Apple's costs. Cook says most iPhones sold in the U.S. in the next quarter will be from India and Vietnam, which will help the company avoid additional 125% tariffs on products from China, but only temporarily. He also says Apple will continue to make, quote, thoughtful and deliberate decisions moving forward.
Ford is extending its employee pricing offer to car buyers. The discounts will be extended through July 4th. This promotion is seen as a way for consumers to get deals before prices on new vehicles rise when tariffs take effect. This week, the CEO of Ford said the automaker's prices would depend on its competitors, since most of its vehicles are made in the country. More people filed for unemployment last week. The number of people signing up for unemployment benefits for the first time increased last week by 18,000 for a total of 241,000. Continuing claims, those remaining on benefits, increased by 83,000 to 1.91 million. Both numbers are not large increases, but they were more than forecast by economists. The Kentucky Derby, the race is tomorrow. We will bring you a look at the contenders to watch.
And here are your winning lottery numbers, the NC Education Lottery. We'll be right back.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We continue to follow that breaking news. We first brought you right at the top of the hour. There's a large police presence in a northeast Raleigh neighborhood where police are attempting to serve a warrant to a man who they say could be barricaded inside right now.
This is specifically in the Falls River neighborhood. This is north of 540 in North Raleigh. Let's get to WRS Destiny Patterson, who's been talking with some of the neighbors there and what they saw. Destiny.
That's right. I actually just spoke to a father who says that his child who goes to a nearby daycare center, they were on a soft lockdown because of this incident here. I want you to take a look. This is the home in question. You can see that they have armored vehicles out front. Not that long ago, we also saw law enforcement agents seemingly enter the home. So we're hoping maybe we'll get some sort of update here shortly. As you guys mentioned, they tried serving a warrant for several charges, including felony stalking and violating a domestic violence protection order. The suspect in this case is Jeffrey Lynch. Police say that they're trying to get in contact with him. At last check, they say that they believe he's inside and possibly armed. They don't believe anyone else is inside at this point, but we do know that the homes inside of this perimeter have been evacuated just out of caution and out of safety. Take a listen to what police said to us just about an hour ago now.
We are trying to confirm that Mr. Lynch is inside the residence. We have not received any information to suggest that anyone else is in there with him. There is an active detour in place to stop traffic from approaching the residence, and neighboring residences have been temporarily evacuated.
We've also been able to confirm that police have responded to this home in the past. That was in 2021. I talked to a neighbor just a little bit ago who said that he remembers when that happened, and that standoff was fairly quick. And compared to this one, I mean, this has been going on for several hours now. Court documents show that Lynch had barricaded himself before, as I mentioned, and his wife in those court documents said that Lynch had a history of drug and alcohol abuse. We're going to continue to talk to neighbors out here, and as I mentioned, hopefully we'll get another update from law enforcement shortly, and we'll bring that to you here. Sending it back to you now.
All right, Destiny Patterson live in Northeast Raleigh. Thanks for that. We have another breaking news story we've been following since the top of the hour here. A guilty verdict in the first-degree murder trial of a man accused of beating his mother to death.
If you're just joining us, it came in about 15 minutes ago. Let's get right to Michelle McConaughey in the WRAL Live Center with reaction as well to the verdict. Michelle.
Yeah, this is something obviously that we have been following very closely this afternoon, learning that Christopher McCullough has been found guilty of first-degree murder. This is a live look in the courtroom. Officers actually just led him out of the courtroom there. We did hear from his father. His father, John, did speak after that verdict. But here's the jury reading the verdict in the courtroom. Take a listen.
We, the jury, by unanimous verdict, find the defendant, Christopher Gilbert McCullough, to be guilty of first-degree murder on the basis of premeditation and deliberation. In case number 23 CR 378-863-910.
And we actually just got the sentencing in this moment. He has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. That just in. John, his father, actually spoke. As I mentioned, he says she loved him so much. Speaking of his mother, she tried to help him get straight, and now she suffered the consequences. He deserves what he is getting. Mary had no chance to stand up against him. Mary died from blunt force trauma to the head. John survived, but he was hospitalized for weeks. Throughout the trial, the state emphasized that McCullough intended to kill his mother. The defense, including McCullough himself, argued he was high and drunk. He did not know what happened. We're also learning the judge recommends that he get mental health assessment treatments, as well as substance abuse and treatment assessments as well. This is obviously still developing. As soon as we get any more information on this, we'll bring it to you from the Live Center.
And hearing the details of that, we know it's a death penalty case potentially as well. Life in prison without parole there. Well, after a nice warm-up, we are in for some storms in our area. That's why we have declared this weekend, both days, a WRAL Weather Alert Day.
How will this affect your weekend plans? So much going on and so many things taking place outdoors. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at that. And Elizabeth, the chance for storms starts tonight.
This has been a really rapidly evolving situation, and that's going to be the case really all the way through the weekend. So I'm going to show you what we have now in terms of information, but I highly recommend you check in with Mike and Kat this evening, and then check in with me first thing in the morning. I'll be here for the morning news tomorrow too. Take a look at our severe weather threat. This is brand new here at noon. It does cover most of the viewing area. Earlier this morning, it covered the Charlotte area westward. So we do have the potential for 1 or 2 cells to develop this afternoon that could produce some wind damage. We're seeing a little bit of activity there along the mountains. Notice about halfway between Asheville and Atlanta, that yellow box that pops up, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So this storm certainly has a history of producing severe weather. The orange boxes that you see there in Nashville, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. And again, the yellow boxes are warnings. And those are marching across Tennessee in our direction. Typically, the mountains kind of tamps down some of the impact there, so we'll be watching it. Once we get to 4 or 5 o'clock, it's 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms right on up until around midnight. So here's what I'm tracking. We'll look ahead to the weekend as well, because again, so many events happening. Saturday storms are looking more and more limited. Like a lot of us are going to be dry for much of Saturday. Sunday storms may be mostly in the morning, except along the I-95 corridor. We could see some redevelopment there in the afternoon. Damaging winds, hail, and flooding are the big 3 things that we'll be watching for. And of course, outdoor events could have an impact, especially on Sunday. This is a look at our chances, 30% Friday and Saturday, and then 90% chance on Sunday. Coming up, we're going to walk you through Futurecast again for the whole weekend.
Elizabeth, thank you. Stay ahead of any severe weather by downloading the WRAL News app. The WRAL meteorologists are always keeping a close eye on weather changes, and you can sign up for push alerts to get them straight to your home screen. It is free to download. Tomorrow is graduation day for NC State. The class of 2025 is set to graduate at 9 a.m. tomorrow at Carter Finley Stadium. Guest tickets are not required. NC State alum Admiral Daryl Caudle is the commencement speaker. He's the commander of the U.S. Fleet Forces Command. For more information on where to park, what time to arrive, and more, look for our graduation guide over on WRAL.com. St. Augustine's University will also hold a commencement ceremony tomorrow. It kicks off at 11 a.m. at Wake Chapel Church's Life Enrichment Center in Raleigh. SAU alum Reverend Dr. Alan Robinson will deliver the keynote.
Covering Wake County this morning at Kingswood Magnet Elementary School, there was a celebration to honor the county's Teacher of the Year. Macy Brinson received that honor at a banquet last night. She's a phys ed teacher at Kingswood. Brinson says she was inspired by her mother to become a teacher and says she couldn't be happier to make her mother proud.
I wanted to be a teacher so that I can make a direct impact every day. So to receive it is a huge honor, and it feels like I really am making that impact. Just being around kids, I think, influenced me to use sports and my passions to put it all together and be an educator.
Put it all together, it's a pretty good week. That was the ceremony last night, and then another one to honor Brinson at Kingswood happened at 8:30 this morning at school.
Durham Public Schools has also named their Teacher of the Year. Alec Virgil was honored at the district's annual banquet last night. He is an honors civil literacy teacher at Middle College High School. DPS Superintendent Anthony Lewis says Virgil represents teaching excellence that leaves a lasting and profound impact.
Favored front runner, the unique name and track record of the horse that some are likely to put some money on for this weekend's Kentucky Derby.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center with that breaking news that we've been following, the Raleigh man accused of beating his mother to death, Christopher McCullough, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was found guilty of first-degree murder. Christopher's father, John, spoke after that verdict. Listen to what he had to say.
She loved him so much. She spent her entire life and energy and everything else trying to get him straight, and she just couldn't do it. And now she suffered the consequences. But I think the jury was correct in this assessment. I would like to thank the defense for giving him as much.
Again, Christopher found guilty of first-degree murder. He also spoke in the courtroom. He said, "I love my son, Chloe, my father, and my mother, and that's it." The judge recommended that he get mental health assessments and substance abuse treatment assessments as well. This is a very big story. We'll stay on top of it.
The World Health Organization is expected to endorse a category of weight loss drugs. According to a new report, the United Nations Global Health Agency is planning to approve GLP-1 class medications to help combat obesity. That class of drugs mimics hormones to aid in blood sugar regulation and weight loss. Medications in that classification include Wegovy, Zepbound, and Ozempic.
Department of Health and Human Services is investing $500 million, hoping to create a universal flu vaccine. The project hopes to develop a shot that can protect against multiple virus strains, including bird flu. The vaccine is being worked on in-house at the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Researchers are using methods that tend to create long-lasting protection.
The countdown is on. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. Next, a look at the contenders vying for the top spot.
And it is snake season out there. The warmer weather means the return of these little slithers. The commonly venomous snake that you should be watching out for locally here this summer. We'll bring you back here this noon with a live look right now of an armored truck sitting in front of a house where police have surrounded it. It's a North Raleigh home there. It's off of All Points View Way in North Raleigh. They were there to serve a search warrant on Jeffrey Lynch, and it turned into a barricade situation. Destiny Patterson is on the ground there. She's getting some more information from some of the neighbors around in that Falls River neighborhood where this is happening right now, and we're just going to keep a close eye on what is happening there as they wait to see what happens inside that barricade situation. Meantime, President Donald Trump signed an executive order. It is designed to cut money to public broadcasting. The order directs the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to end federal funding for NPR and PBS. Congress specifically set up the CPB as a private entity to protect it from governmental interference. CPB filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration earlier this week after 3 of its board members were fired by email. This executive order will almost definitely be challenged in court.
On the heels of record highs in parts of the Triangle, local scientists are warning of an increased chance of encountering snakes. Researchers at the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission say when the temperatures go up, so do the number of snakes out near trails and gardens. Some people who walk the trails have been posting about their snake sightings online. Experts say native snakes do not attack unless it's to defend themselves. Here locally, there is one type of venomous snake seen more than others.
In an area like Raleigh, really the copperhead is the only venomous species that people are likely to come across. And really all the other snake species that people are going to find are going to be non-venomous and harmless to humans.
Biologists say snake activity goes up anytime the temperature is roughly 60 degrees. So they say watch where you and your pets are walking outside.
All right, get your fascinators, your mint juleps, and get your picks ready. The most exciting 2 minutes in sports is on the way with the Kentucky Derby airing tomorrow on WRAL. 20 horses will be headed for that $3.1 million winner's share of a total $5 million purse. One of the horses to watch is named Journalism. He is likely the fastest horse in the race. He has an incredible story. Earlier this year, his trainer helped him and 16 other horses escape the California wildfires as they threatened Santa Anita Raceway. Right now, Journalism is the odds-on betting favorite. The betting favorite, though, has won just 40 times since 1908. In fact, in each of the last 3 years, the winner took home the prize at greater than 15-to-1 odds. Important to note that you can't wager on the Derby on the betting apps that a lot of folks use in North Carolina. So if you're not going to Churchill Downs to see that and bet in person, the Run for the Roses, you can watch it live on WRAL. It gets started tomorrow afternoon, 2:30.
I love that the name is Journalism
Right?
because, you know, I mean, working
Capital J.
fast, under
Yeah.
deadline,
There it is.
journalism.
Yeah.
That's
Quick
maybe
one.
that's where he got
Has
his
to be a
name.
mutter out there in the elements, all the time.
Beautiful sunshine out there, and it is going to be a hot day today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and we could see some storms coming in tonight.
We are likely to see some, maybe as early as the evening commute, and it does look like that we could see some of those that could produce some wind damage. But I do think that that would be isolated. It's beautiful in the gardens. We have the whole crew out there. I wish they would come to my house, right? They are working hard to change everything up now that they're sort of getting past spring and some of these warmer temperatures. They're going to change all the flowers around. Don't forget, even though the azaleas are mostly gone, it's still a great place to visit, especially this time of year. All right, we changed up the outdoor plan a little bit for this weekend. Okay, so Saturday we've got the potential for some late day storms, mainly west of Highway 1. So that's really going to be just our far western counties. Everybody else is going to stay dry on Saturday. So that really opens things up for all the big events that we have happening on Saturday. Sunday, the trend is now drier, especially from the Triangle area westward. It looks like the morning would be wet for everyone. And then in the afternoon, it's just along the I-95 corridor. So again, that really starts to bring us some drier conditions. What's likely to happen? See the big L right there? That low pressure system is going to move on up to the north and east. And we're going to see some drier air moving up through the middle of that during the day on Sunday. We call that a dry slot. And it looks like that could help to keep the amount of rain down just a little bit. Lots of activity along this front, especially from the low, really along that stationary front there in Tennessee. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and watches. And of course, brand new here at noon, we have a level 1 risk for most of our area for just a few isolated cells producing some wind damage. We still have this level 1 risk. I wouldn't be surprised if the Storm Prediction Center takes us out of that for Saturday and adds it in for Sunday, because it looks like really early Sunday morning would potentially be a better chance. Our severe weather threat on Sunday right now is well to the south, but Sunday really looks like the most active day for us in terms of those stronger thunderstorms. Here's a look at Futurecast. We stop it right there at 5 o'clock. Right there we can see a few isolated cells popping up. 1 or 2 of those could produce winds strong enough to cause some damage, knock down a tree. At 9 o'clock, again, just 1 or 2. You can see, the coverage here for us is not a whole lot. Saturday at midnight, a couple of showers. We may see a little line of rain making a run at us at around 6 a.m. and then then just kind of fizzles out. And then the same thing again later in the day. That's lunchtime. Mid to late afternoon, we have a chance of a few isolated thunderstorms as well, and then that kind of fizzles out. So it's almost like somebody put a wall up right at the edge of our viewing area, and it all stays to the west. After midnight, then we start to see it moving eastward, say between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. By 7 a.m., it's along the I-95 corridor, and a lot of that sort of moves out by lunchtime, but then we see some redevelopment from Raleigh eastward, mainly along that I-95 corridor for the afternoon. So 30% chance today and tomorrow, and then it really bumps up to 90%, especially in the morning hours, and then a little less in the afternoon, except along and east of I-95. How much rain are we talking about? Well, all total, today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, we're looking at as much as 1 inch to 1.5 inches. With this new trend that we're seeing, it's looking really good for Komen Race for the Cure. We are, of course, proud sponsors of the race. Looks like it'll be nice and dry. And Ham and Ham, too. We're proud sponsors. Kent Smith's going to be over there tomorrow. It looks like it should be dry for Saturday. So that's great news. I would highly recommend you checking in with Kat and Mike this evening, and then me again in the morning, because this has been a very rapidly changing pattern.
And we are staying on top of a possible barricade situation in North Raleigh. Raleigh police trying to serve a warrant there at a home. We are staying on top of this situation, and we will check in with Destiny Patterson, who is live there on the ground as you see officers surrounding a particular home. We'll be right back.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We're going to take you back out to the Falls River neighborhood in Raleigh, where police say a man may be barricaded inside a home after they tried to serve a warrant to a man.
WRAL's